welcome to the Ramon Foster Show, brought to you by the Get Go Cafe and Market. What's going on, Moan? Where are you? What is that?
I'm in a car, first and foremost. But I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. I got some stuff I got to do, NFLPA stuff real quick. It was a quick trip, man, of course, but we're here. The Ramon Foster Show goes on, DK.
It's the Ramon Mobile, making sure that the show continues. Just make sure you're not driving or anything. You're going to freak us out. You're pulled over and safe there.
I'm backed up in a parking lot just waiting my turn in the line.
Moan, let's talk about Steelers versus Saints this weekend. Steelers are dogs in this game somehow. I really don't get that. I mean, I know they're 2-6, but the Saints are 3-6. The Saints are missing like a ton of guys, and they really can't stop anybody defensively, and they have Andy Dalton at quarterback. What am I missing here?
Man, well, they are what I don't ever want the Steelers to be. They are about to be and currently living in cap hell. That's where they are. They spent all their money on
New Orleans.
New Orleans. They spent all their money on free agency and signing their guys back, and Drew Brees money and Taysom Hill money and Jameis Winston money and what's his name? Cam Jordan money. Like Kamara. I can go through the list of guys in which they have actually just poured so much money into, and now they're faced with a team that has no quarterback. Their offensive line is as shaky as can be right now. They end up losing Teron Armstead this past offseason. And this is the results of trying to go all in with your players and then not actually paying off. And now they're just bad. Again, we're learning either having a young quarterback or bad quarterbacks like Andy Dalton. I would throw Jameis in there, but I actually like Jameis a whole lot. And trying to make a quarterback out of Taysom Hill. This is what happens to a team. They have no cohesion. They lose games. They've lost a lot of games, the same as our Steelers. And I'm hoping we get this together.
But I'm not done here, because the Saints played Monday night.
Yeah.
And the Steelers have been sitting around getting healthy for 2 weeks. And the Steelers are at home, and they are bow wow still. And I just don't understand. Is betting so dependent on just moods, or what is it?
No, betting is dependent on what you actually see out on the field. Nobody knows what this offense is going to look like minus Chase Claypool. Nobody's going to know what it looked like. Nobody knows what it looked like with George Pickens being the guy. Nobody knows if Matt Canada can call a good game against a bad team like the New Orleans Saints. That's what it is. Like, it's not actually the computers, DK, to my knowledge, that are setting these lines and watching the games. It's actually me, you, and a bunch of dudes in a Vegas closet that see that the Steelers right now aren't that good. And to be an underdog at home, you got to take that personally. And you also got to say to yourself, well, you hadn't done anything to get away from being an underdog either. So, yeah, I get it. But they have an opportunity.
You had me at Matt Canada. You just did. You totally won the argument. Like, all you had to say was Matt Canada. And then we would have just moved on to the next subject.
I know. DK and
the other thing is, Moan, I think this might be the most interesting thing about this matchup. Sorry, go ahead, Moan.
No, I was just going to say, well, do you trust him to call a good game against a bad team?
No, I don't trust him to do anything. So here's what I do find interesting, though. The Saints give up a lot of points. They're 11th in the league in terms of total defense, which means yards allowed, but they're 28th when it comes to points allowed by the defense, which pretty obviously means that they're not real great at preventing you from getting touchdowns versus field goals.
Exactly.
And, you look at the points that they've been giving up lately, the Saints have, and it's been like 25, 26 per game.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, maybe, just maybe, the Steelers offense can do something. But even then, they just never let you feel good about anything, do they?
They do not, man. I mean, this is a Saints team that lost to the Carolina Panthers, and I think we all know how bad they are. Again, it's one of those things that I kind of say I don't know what we are right now. But I look at the Saints and I also just put them in a box and say, well, you guys suck. And I actually do trust our guys a little bit better than theirs, especially our defense against their offensive line. I know Cam Jordan is a dog when it comes down to him playing ball. He is an all-pro, probably a future Hall of Famer. This will be a battle of the Cams when it comes down to Cam Hayward and Cam Jordan trying to figure out who's going to be the big dogs this weekend, man. But when you say, they're bad in the red zone, I also say to myself, well, I think they give up chunk plays. I think their offense is very stagnant when it comes down to the Saints. Watching them play quarterback, like you got three guys that I don't think anybody would make the first pick when it comes down to building a franchise. Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, if he plays, and the forever experiment of Taysom Hill. Absolutely not. They must get abused this weekend at Acrisure Stadium. I almost said Heinz Field. Ooh.
Yeah, it's just, I guess we'll see where it goes. I'd like to see Kenny Pickett and his receivers establish some rapport. And you know what, Moan? Let's do that when we come back. All right.
Yeah.
Let's start getting into some of the chemistry specific things that we want to see this team achieve this weekend when we come back. Welcome back to the Ramon Foster Show, and it's time to start seeing specific things materialize for the better for these Steelers over the course of these final 9 games in a second half that otherwise appears to be, kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
Give me a relationship that you want to see get going here on the offensive side first.
I got a couple. I got a few, really. But all
right, go ahead. So do they.
George Pickens and Kenny Pickett. I want to see that. I also want to see how Kenny incorporates Deontay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I think there's something there. The room was just muddied up with Chase in there. Let's just be honest with you. I think most teams can handle 3 guys, but those 3 guys need to be stagnant in their years as far as their tenure. Deontay, Chase, and George are too close as far as years in the league to say, man, I got to spread this ball out evenly. You know what I'm saying, DK? Like, somebody has to be able to take the reins and run with it. And I really wanted to be George Pickens, because I feel like Deontay's at a spot where he knows, like, on any team, he's potentially a number 2, right? That's the way you will look at him. And then the other part of your third receiver, to me, is probably Pat Frymouth. I want to see him be able to be established more in this, DK. The guy can block. The guy can catch the ball. And that's where I'm looking at. Where's my 3-headed monster? I got him. I got Pat. I got George. I got Deontay. We're settled there. The other portion of this where I want to see be locked in together has to be the OL and the running backs. Whatever they needed to do to get on the same page in this bye. Kumbaya this thing, okay? I don't care if you guys have to go bowling together. I don't care if you guys need to go on double dates with one another. Find something that's going to put you guys on the same page, because to me, it seemed like everybody knows they're a problem inside of that running back room and that offensive line room, but nobody speaks about it. So be honest about it. Say to friggin' Najee, you're not hitting the holes the way we need you to. And the other side is like, truthfully, we like blocking for Jalen to see what it does. And then from there, break that down and get to a point to where we can be like, what do you need from us? I think that's fair. That's one thing that Muntz did for us when it came down to blocking for Le'Veon. We got to do what's necessary for him. So this is our blocking technique. I feel the same thing was done when we had other guys blocking for Willie. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the things that we needed. Isaac Redman, guess what? Bam, we just need to be straight ahead, nothing fancy with a guy like him. Rashad Mendenhall, hey.
D'Angelo Williams is another one, too.
D'Angelo, as we're in Charlotte right now. He was the guy, look, just give D'Angelo this much space. That's all he needs. And then we were off to the races. Those are the things that have to happen right now, DK, because nobody wants to be losing. Nobody does. And they know, I do know this. Those guys feel that pressure of winning. I do know that for a fact, DK, to whereas they know guys that played there are talking. They know more media outlets are speaking of them. They know me and you have this going on every single day speaking about them. You know what I'm like? I know this for a fact. And they feel that pressure. So address it. Somebody's got to grow up in that building on the offensive side of the ball.
No question. I'm going to take the defensive side, and the chemistry that I want to see rebuilt as opposed to built is between the pass rush and the secondary. And I understand that sounds like I'm taking an easy out, but man, that's the way the thing is structured. Okay, that's what it's all about. Pass rush sets up the takeaways.
It does.
And all you have to do, and we all probably should do it between now and Sunday anyway, is just pop a video in of that first half against Cincinnati and say, same guys, same guys. The only difference is better opponent, meaning Cincinnati. You're not going to face many offenses all year long that are as good as what the Bengals have. Okay, I understand. They make all kinds of excuses for themselves, and we didn't play enough in the preseason and whatever else here. Hey, too bad. You were on an NFL field. Actually, it was your NFL field, and the Steelers did that to you. Yeah. Same guys, Moan. You know, chemistry also. How about the D-line? Let's see that start to come together. Larry Ogunjobi's health is in doubt, obviously, but it can't just be Cam. It can't just be Cam up there.
No, absolutely not, man. And just really more precise play from the linebackers too, DK. Like, it's one thing to actually be able to have guys get penetration up front, but it's another thing if those linebackers can't make those tackles, can't fill those gaps. Like, this to me is the perfect reset for this team as you roll your eyes back, DK, and the linebackers making plays.
The only reason I did that is because of Miles Jack's health and his knee. So we're not going to – the idea that just because TJ's back, the whole defense is back is not accurate. And I think there's going to be a sense of that. Whoa, TJ's back. Everything's going to be magical. No, other people are going to have to step up if it means stepping up for Ogunjobi, if it means stepping up for Jack. And there hasn't been a whole lot of that.
Well, I'll say this. If Miles Jack isn't in this week, this is also the true part about it. They don't have a real passer at quarterback, in my opinion, with the Saints. I think they would be dink and dunk because they can't really protect their quarterbacks the way they need to. You will see more short field type of drop balls when it comes down to their offense. With that being said, if it does have to be Robert Spillane in coverage more often than we want him to be, this is the game for him to do it while Miles Jack gets healthy.
The Saints defense has 2 interceptions all year. Think about that. That's all I have to say about you bookies who have made the Steelers underdogs in this game. When we come back, the only segment that matters.
Hey, Mo.
Welcome back to the Ramon Foster Show. Hey, and the only segment that matters is brought to you by the Get Go Cafe and Market, where 3 expert chefs fine-tune every detail so that every sub, burger, salad, wrap, drink, and app is crafted for craveability. Order your favorite at the Get Go Cafe and Market today. Better believe it. We're going to do a little bit of a weird Hey Moan today. I got a question for you, Moan. We have a million of them. This isn't about not having questions, but we just want to have some fun.
Okay, let's do it.
If I told you that after a certain game against Andy Dalton, one of your defensive players, a guy that you went against for a lot of years, pulled me over like this with a finger and said, "We will beat that guy every time we face him. Every single time that we face him." Who would you guess that would be? And I have not told Moan this, so if he gets it's pretty impressive.
Cam Hayward.
Now, I knew you were going to say Cam.
Hold up. Wait a second. Okay. Defensive guy?
Defensive guy. We will beat him every time we face him.
Freak. I'm stumped. Cam will be the only one I think would say something like that. Keysall. The beard. Get out of here. Yeah.
We will beat him every time we face him. He went on to offer more detail that I will leave out of the equation here. But I had to do the mimicking chin thing to get you the hint. For anybody who isn't seeing the video version.
Diesel. I can believe that. You want to know why? Andy gives up a lot. He gives up a lot, man. There's so many clues that you can get from scouting Andy Dalton that I'm shocked nobody's actually been able to pick up on those things that continue to sign him. The Cowboys signing him, the Saints signing him, the reason why Cincinnati let him go. That guy gives up a lot, man. And as a defensive guy, Kiesel, I'm sure, ate that up. Cam eats that up. And I'm sure oh my gosh.
It wasn't even necessarily a disrespectful thing, like he stinks. It was more a matter of we know how to beat him.
Yep.
We know how to beat him. And that might be what you're saying, and kind of was to some extent. That he gives away some clues and so forth, but there's also looks that you see in somebody's eyes, whether it's fair or not. Like, I know we can get that guy. Man, we just had a bunch of feedback here, Mo, and I just wanted to run through some of this here. Out loud here, let you know that we appreciate everything that shows up in comments here. Tony Anderson says, keep my addiction going, guys. Love the show. Tiles Levy says, hey, Moan, sir, you are killing it, man. Hitting on every point. Love you, brother. Wish you much success.
Thank you.
There's so many of these I don't even know. A great show. Hey, Moan, I think you'd be incredible as a head coach, says Greg Iskat.
You know what?
I don't know about that.
Maybe Jeff Saturday will hire me then.
He's the one guy that would do it here. Russ Obenstein says this show is so original and unlike any other. Simply the best. There's there's a lot of this here, and I don't want you to feel like just because we go to the straight football questions that we're ignoring them. Probably 90%. We actually complain about it in a friendly way, like we need to find a hey Moan question, and it's like, but all this is people being nice.
I know. Well, you know what, man? I'm glad y'all get an opportunity to see this guy on camera, because I tell people all the time, on the field, I'm not a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Or if somebody's ever like crossed me, I'm not a nice guy. Not in the sense of, oh, here come Raging Ramon. Oh, Raging Ramon. Maybe we should make that a segment one day, DK, when we're really ticked off about a bad game. But what I'm saying is this, man. I like to have a good time, and that's what DK and I do on this while talking sports. Sometimes people can give you so many numbers and so many stats and so many just football speak that it's just like, yeah, no, just talk like me, and that's what we're doing.
You know what? It's the other value to this is I feel like, and this is the way we've conversed for many years now.
It is.
People see the value in two guys just saying it how they see it instead of worrying about what the other guy's going to think. Terry Breedlove here sends a comment regarding a show earlier this week where he says, so on the running game, DK says he's tired of people saying that they just need to commit, blah, blah, blah. And then Ramon lays out exactly how you commit, and boom. All right. Boom. So I got flattened by an NFL offensive lineman. I can live with that.
Yeah. You know what? You hit that boom like John Madden, too. I just got to say that. But that's why we go back and forth. I know it's been some times, and you've interviewed me, and you've like assumed like this is what it was, not in a bad way, and you be like, no, this is how it actually breaks down. Whenever I figured out that you guys can't really answer anything if we don't give you the answer, that's when I realized we actually have a little bit more power here. But I think when former players get into this business of being in the sports media side, you have guys that want to do it our way, and you have guys that do it a different way, and that's fine too. Like I look at, for instance, Pat McAfee, the way he's just taking off, and I know he was a punter and whatnot, but some guys get in it to be the show, be a star, and some guys just honestly want to talk ball, and we want to talk ball and have a little fun on this show.
Yeah, it's simple as that. Unfortunately, it's not to the satisfaction of Barbara Begg, and she sent me this email that was this long. If I read it to everybody, we'd run out of like YouTube cyberspace or something. But she said, I've been listening to the Ramon Foster show for 5 months and I've lost 12 pounds. Who needs TB12? DK Sports has RF73, activity performed while impatiently waiting for the show. And we get a lot of this too because our schedule is a little bit unpredictable. Between me traveling a lot to cover all three of Pittsburgh's teams, Moan is on the road right now. Moan's busy. Moan's got kids that are working on their own level of superstardom someday. And there's a lot that goes into all of this. We do try to hook up as soon as we can every day and to get the show out as quickly as we can. Moan, what's your prediction for Sunday?
TJ's back. Based off that, we get a dub. I'm just gonna throw that out there. This weekend, because they do have some components of that. Kamara is a bad man. Kamara's a bad man. When it comes down to passing and running the ball, I got the Steelers winning. This weekend, we score points. 24-17.
Wait, how many of those 24 are by the offense?
I'm giving all of them because we will get some short field. Andy Dalton will turn it off. 24-17.
You went with 24 offensive points.
I did.
All right, you bookies, you pay attention to Ramon. I've got the Steelers winning, which should terrify everybody given my season record to date. I've got them winning 19-18 only because I can't put them over the 20-point threshold. I just can't unless we start counting into the equation defensive points and things like that, which I obviously can't rule out with TJ, Minka, and Cam out there Andy Dalton.
Do we place a friendly bet on it if they get over 20? You want to
this before?
I know we've never done this. I feel like
it feels less than wholesome, man.
I know because we have to stand by what we say. Then we got to come back Monday and say, aha, somebody owes somebody.
All right, I will bet you a giant pilgrim sandwich at the Get-Go Cafe and Market. Okay. You know which one the Pilgrim is?
The one with the turkey and dressing.
It's Thanksgiving. They just dump it all on a. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's Thanksgiving in a single bite. All right. So So what was our bet again? Since we both picked them to win.
If they score over 20, you owe me. If they don't score under 20, I owe you. I'll send you.
Offense.
Yeah, offense scoring over 20. I'll owe you a sub from a Pittsburgh establishment in the Strip District, Pepe's. You
got it. The former home of the Roethlisberger, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it is. We got a deal?
We got a deal, Moan. We got a deal. I'm looking forward to my my Pilgrim. Or no, wait, you're getting the Pilgrim. I get the Pepe's.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I'm good.
All right. If we haven't made this clear enough, this is going to be the last show for the week because Moan's got business to take care of in North Carolina. Believe it or not, I have business to take care of in North Carolina this weekend as well. My daughter has a performance down there, so we'll be down there too. I'll be way up in Winston-Salem waving to you. And no, that's not where the witch trials were, contrary to what you said off the recording.
I had to. Why not? And by the way, congrats, Barbara. Down 12 pounds. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Barbara, heck, this show's been so long, it's 14 pounds just from watching this show.
It is. That's awesome.
All right, guys. Let's hook up and do this again on Monday to discuss the Steelers beating the Saints.
No doubt, DK. See you guys.